Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Heart Gold with only one Krabby was a fun solo run. Let's follow that up with a gen that we haven't done in ages. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Red with a team of only one Doduo? Man, I feel like I never do Gen 1 anymore. We're mostly just out of interesting Pokemon to solo the game with. But somehow, I've never done a run with Doduo. It's a normal and flying type with terrible special and health, pretty low defense, but high speed and attack. It's worth keeping in mind that you get more crits in Gen 1 if your base speed is higher, so we might have a decent crit rate here. By level up, we don't really learn much that's good. Only Peck until level 20, but at level 30 we get Drill Peck, and that's a huge upgrade. We do get Tri-Attack eventually, but in Gen 1 it has no secondary effect, so it's really not that good of a move. I guess Agility could be good for the badge boost glitch, but I consider that to be a last resort. Yeah, I know the glitch activates naturally every time your stats change anyway, but I try not to exploit that whenever possible. By TM, we learn Body Slam, a fantastic normal move that has saved us in quite a few Gen 1 runs. Other than that though, it's a bit underwhelming. Our type variety is horrible, it's only normal and flying moves when it comes to dealing damage. Even Fly probably isn't worth it since Drill Peck is stronger. Maybe we go Drill Peck, Body Slam, Substitute, and Rest? I could see that working decently. Reflect might even have some value since it lasts the entire fight in this game. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I think that I'm gonna win, but I'll probably need to be a pretty high level, maybe close to level 90. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Doduo. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So right off the bat, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Bulbasaur with Doduo so that we can do the whole run with it. I name him Twin Beaks, without a doubt one of the all-time best name suggestions I've ever gotten on Twitter. Well, I'm pretty torn on how this run is gonna start. On one hand, we have high speed and attack, so between crits and our already decent attack stat, we're going to be doing a lot more damage than most early game Pokemon. On the other hand, our first gym is a rock gym and they resist our only move. They won't have Rock Throw or anything like that, so we don't need to worry about super effective moves, but our defense already isn't great, so their tackles are going to build up. Plus, Onix has Bide, so even if we do decent damage, we're going to take some in return. At level 20, we could learn Growl to get around his Bide, but even just getting to level 20 is going to take a while. Hey, at least Peck is going to one-shot most of the Pokemon in the forest, so the grind might not be too awful, but I still predict that we aren't going to win the fight until we're somewhere in the early level 20s. Hey, by the way, to all of you who've been asking me to do a Nuzlocke for years, I've actually been doing a Fire Red Nuzlocke streaming series on this very YouTube channel. You should check out the playlist so that you can see the whole thing. I figured that I should let you know here since I've had a massive uptick in comments telling me that YouTube just doesn't tell them when I upload new videos, so I figure it probably didn't tell most of you who would be interested in that series, so yeah, thanks for that one, YouTube. Alright, so I grind all the way up to level 14 and take a few tries at the Rock Gym. I can often get to Onix if we get a few crits here and there, but we never really last all that long after that. Onix has Bide, and we only have Peck, so we don't last very long. He only needs to use it once, and we're basically just doomed. Well, this was bafflingly stupid. I took forever getting to level 20, pretty easily took down Geodude thanks to the extra attack, and then Onix literally never used Tackle on us. He hit tons of Screeches, but didn't want to just Tackle to follow up on it. He kept using Bide, so we would just growl on those turns, and it couldn't do anything to us. I kinda thought I'd need to be a higher level to beat Brock, but he threw the fight. Alright, well, things are always gonna get a lot harder once we get to Celadon. We have a rival fight and a water gym. Now, I think Sand Attack can hit us in spite of being flying type, but I always kind of forget all the weird little eccentricities of Gen 1, so I could be wrong about that. I do remember that Sand Attack's effect is stronger in this game than in the rest of the games, so I really hope I don't get hit by that. Outside of that, maybe not too bad a fight. Then there's the Water Gym, where she has X-Defend and Bubble Beam, but she randomly picks moves, so she might just do almost nothing with Tackle instead. Really, as soon as we can get past our rival, we're in the clear for a little while, because getting to the SSN means getting our hands on Body Slam, and that's going to be our best move this run, both in terms of damage and because it can paralyze stuff. Let's rush our way over there and see how it goes. Oh, and by the way, I'm restarting up my Facebook fan page thing that I have as an alternative place to upload these challenges. I'm mostly just uploading backlog stuff over there. There's not going to be anything over there that isn't already over here. But if you could go to the description and go follow me on Facebook, I'd appreciate it. Maybe I'll put up posts there every once in a while to talk back and forth with you guys. That could be fun. And also, I'm trying to get that monetized over there so that I can have a nice side flow of cash from that doesn't cost any of you guys anything. It's a way of getting a little bit more funding without it having to be fan funding. And one of the requirements for getting monetized is having 10,000 followers. And I just have 1,000 over there because I never promote it at all. So if I could get more of you guys to follow me over there, I'd appreciate it. It would help me out with the show. I have a funny story about the Facebook thing because I didn't log in for 6 or 7 years? So I've got a funny story about that, but I'll tell it at the end of this video. On our way there, though, on our way to Facebook, I guess, I took the Helix fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone asks anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. So I decided to go after the rival first, and we got there at level 24, the same level that we get Fury Attack. It's not amazing, but it's so much stronger than Peck that we ended up making short work of his whole team. He got a few quick attacks in, but it just didn't hurt too badly. I think I'll do Nugget Bridge, then try the Water Gem on our way out of town. Alright, so even at level 28, this was such a 50-50 fight. It could have easily gone either way completely because of move choice. We hardly won, but a critical water gun from Starmie almost took us out. You gotta remember, Starmie's a crit machine in this game, so it didn't really take that much luck. If it had just used Bubble Beam instead, we'd have lost. Alright, well that gets us access to our best move, the TM for Body Slam. I still made sure to clear out the whole ship though, because I knew that I wanted to get Drill Peck so that we'd have good moves of both of our types. I figure the rival fight on the ship should be easy, but I'm not totally sure about the Electric Gym after. Yeah, maybe it's easy because it's normally easy, but we could still get paralyzed and thunderbolted. It's not like our special is very high, so we would take a lot of damage if that happens. I want to do that gym as early as possible though, just so that we have more of a challenge. So first was our rival, but we obviously swept his entire team. I kinda figured that we would. I mean, we have new powerful moves, and we're a pretty high attack Pokemon for this point in the game. After that is the Electric Gym, but this wasn't an issue either. We just swept them, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised, since it's not like Raichu is all that tanky. I don't expect this easy part of the run to last very long, though. So we're on our way up to the Rock Tunnel to get to the other side of Kanto, and I know that we can't sweep what's coming up. It's our rival, Giovanni, and the Grass Gym. Now, Grass Gym will be a sweep. Our rival could possibly be a sweep, but I don't think it's going to be hard either way. But the upcoming Giovanni fight absolutely will not be a sweep. He's got some rock types that were never going to be very good against this run, and he's also got that always strong Kangaskhan. Will it be a hard fight? Probably not that hard. Maybe we win in a few tries, but it'll be harder than the last few fights for sure. I think I'm going to do the rival fight and the Grass Gym first, just because they're probably going to be easier. And by the way, if you want to get some fun perks like seeing these videos early, then you should check out the YouTube members page or the Patreon page below. For about $3 American a month, you can check out all this stuff early while supporting the show. It's always appreciated. Well, our rival was almost a sweep, but Water Onyx hung on with a sliver. Thankfully, he only used Leer instead of anything dangerous, so we still got a really easy win. After that is the Grass Gym, that obviously is a sweep with Drill Peck. There's no way it wasn't gonna be. How could it not be? Alright, well, I guess I was wrong to worry about Giovanni. Between our crits and our high attack, it actually went pretty easily. I guess in fairness, his levels aren't that high. That's why I think the next part is gonna be harder. We've got that Poison Gym coming up, and not only is it gonna be a big jump in levels, but they're using a high defense Pokemon that can ruin our accuracy and self-destruct. If there's any time in the run that's gonna get harder, it's probably now. Plus, we have that Silph rival fight, and that one's always hard. Yeah, the Psychic Gym and Giovanni probably aren't gonna be that hard after, but we can't even get there till we get past our rival. If we can win the Poison Gym early, then I'm absolutely gonna go do the Fire Gym, because it's always fun going there as early as we can just to see what Blaine does. Okay, this was an all-time dumb Poison Gym fight. First try, we quickly lost to getting crit by Sludge and Poisoned, but second try, we crit the first Coughing to one-shot him. Second is Muck, who only used Disable and missed, so we two-shot him. and third is a Coughing, who only used Tackle, so we took him out as well. Now, I thought we might lose to the last Wheezing using Self-Destruct, but instead, he used an X attack twice in a row, instead of attempting to do any damage at all, so we won. That was Blaine levels of throwing the fight. Speaking of, let's go fight Blaine early. Alright, first try at the Fire Gym. First is Growlithe, who's a one-shot, and second is a one-shot on Ponyta. So far, so good. Third is Rapidash. No one watched that video. No one's gonna know what I'm referencing there. Third is Rapidash, who hits a single growl to lower our attack, but still goes down without hitting us. Last is Arcanine, and right away we hit hard and paralyzed him, and he just uses Roar. That does nothing in trainer battles in this game, but then he lucked out and burned us with an Ember, so we were doing almost no damage. We brought him to a Sliver when he hit Fire Blast to take us out. I mean, it's hilarious enough that we almost won that, but I bet that we could beat him in a few tries. He loves picking random bad moves. Alright, next try, and although things do go borderline identical, we don't get burned, so he ends up taking himself out with Takedown on the next turn. Once again, Blaine losing fights that there is no way a human player with the same team would have lost. It's always amazing. Next is the Silph rival fight, and it starts off amazingly with Pidgeot nearly fainting to a Body Slam, illegally using a regular potion as the second move, then fainting on the next round. That was basically the worst thing he could have done. Execute was a one-shot with Drill Peck, and next is Water Onix, who nearly fainted to a Body Slam, got paralyzed, hit a huge Hydro Pump to bring us to half health, and then he fainted to another Body Slam. Alakazam was a one-shot, and last is Charizard, who actually ended up getting crit to go down in one hit. That was a first try at the Silph rival fight. For as limited as our moveset is, Body Slam with high attack and a high-speed Pokemon is working out really well. Giovanni right after started great with Nidorino being one-shot with Body Slam, and Kangaskhan only hit a Tail Whip before going down, but that meant that the Rhyhorn right after was able to take advantage of our low defense and hit for decent damage with Stomp. Thanks to a crit, it was a two-shot though. Last was Nidoqueen, who hung on and Body Slammed us for great damage. If we had gotten paralyzed, we'd have fainted to a second slam, but we didn't, so we won. Wait, never mind, I forgot, in Gen 1 you can't get a secondary effect off a move of the same type as you, so Body Slam can't poison normal types. How weird is that? Alright, second from last gym is us just easily sweeping the Psychic Gym, but things might get harder in a moment. Giovanni has some pretty strong Pokemon in the ground gym, including 2 rock types. We could lose that one. Alright, so right away we get tail whipped by Rhyhorn and stomped before we could take it out, so we're already missing a third of our health. It's not a great start. Dugtrio was obviously a one-shot, but next is Nidoqueen. I was worried, but we crit for a one-shot, so that was lucky. Next is Nidoking though, and we get hit by Thrash before we can take it out, so our health is really not great. One good hit and we're gonna faint. Last is Rhydon, and I figured that I was doomed, but it kept going for things like Tail Whip. Seriously, one hit from a decent move and we would have fainted for sure. We're hardly even hurting it, but then we fully paralyzed it, crit it, and on its last turn where it could finish us off, he was using Guard Spec. That is one of the absolute dumbest moves I've ever seen Giovanni do. That was amazing! He couldn't have thrown that fight at the end any worse if he tried. Maybe he did try. After that is the rival fight on the way to the Elite Four. Right away, Pidgeot only hits a weak wing attack. Fun fact, that move is the same power as Peck in this game. Second is Rhyhorn, who takes quite a few hits to take down, and because of that, we get tail whipped twice. I really don't like that. Third is Execute, who's obviously a one-shot, and fourth is Water Onix. I was worried about Thrash again, but we ended up getting fully paralyzed off one Body Slam, letting us take it out without getting hurt. Alakazam is a one-shot, but last is Charizard, and I was worried. It ended up surviving a hit, critting a slash to nearly take us out, then we Body Slammed it again for the win. I kinda thought that slash would make us faint. I forget, did Gen 1 crits ignore all stat changes, or just your own attack ups? Because if it's all stat changes, then the crit may have actually saved us. But if not, then those tail whiffs almost made us faint. Alright, so we're on the trip to the Elite Four, and we are a really low level right now. Normally we're close to level 70 by this point, and it's very much not because we have a great moveset. We just have a lot of attack and a couple decent moves. I'm not really sure if that's going to carry us through the end of the game, though. Lorelei has ice moves that are super effective against us, and Bruno has 2 Onyx that we aren't going to hurt very much. Agatha might not be too bad, because her most dangerous Pokemon have low defense, but then there's Lance, who's pretty dangerous in general. Then our rival at the end has that Rhydon that uses Leer and Tail Whip to ruin our defense. I can see these last few fights being pretty hard. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Well, right off the bat, I love our crazy high attack stat, but the low defense and special has me a bit worried. I got rid of the less useful moves on our moveset in favor of Reflect and Rest. I figure we might make use of those. It's hard to say though, they aren't going to save us from the ice moves of Lorelei, and I figure that we're going to need to level up quite a bit before we can get past her. I could see us not winning this run until we're close to level 80. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Ice Trainer Lorelei. Well, after a failed try where Dewgong hit Aurora Beam right away for a one-shot, we took it out with a bit of luck only to get totally destroyed by the Cloyster right after. I mean, I knew this would happen. We're super underleveled to win this fight with only one bird. Even the weak members of the team like Cloyster can nearly one-shot us with Aurora Beam. She has a really tanky team too, so we're not likely to get many one-shots without a crit until a pretty high level. But maybe we won't need to level up too much before we can win. Maybe if we're lucky with crits and paralysis, then we could win somewhere in the 60s. Alright, we're back at level 60. Yeah, even when we don't get hurt by Dewgong at all, we lose fast to Cloyster. This time it crit us, but it doesn't look like we're gonna get a 2-shot, so I don't know how we'd have gotten past it anyway. I need to get stronger still. So at level 65, after 7 tries in a row where Dewgong hit us, we finally got another one where he didn't. Cloyster still isn't a 2-shot, but we survived with a bit more health, and he used a super potion on the second turn, letting us beat him. Slowbro came out and dropped our attack with Growl, but then he used Withdraw instead of another Growl, so we took him out too. Jinx survived with a Sliver because of the Growl, but used a super potion on the same turn, so we took her out. And last is Lapras. We critted to bring it to red health. It used a super potion when it really shouldn't, and then we critted again for the win. We didn't need the double crit, but I find it hilarious that we would not have won that fight if not for her illegally using 3 different super potions as the second move on a round. If she used attacking moves on any of those rounds, we would have fainted. Second is Fighting Trainer Bruno. By comparison, this fight was really easy. Yeah, we could hardly damage the Onyx, especially after the X defense they were using, but we have Reflect to double our defense, and they already don't hit very hard. Drill Peck one-shots the only real threats on his team, and Body Slam did a fine enough job for the Onyx. Third is Ghost Trainer Agatha. Now, I kind of thought this one might be difficult, but it really wasn't. We one-shot a surprising amount of her team, and her move choice was so awful that the only ones who survived hardly did anything to us. We took Nightshade near the end to that hurt, but really, if they weren't going to go for Hypnosis, then I don't really see how we could have lost. Gen 1 Sleep can be brutal, that could have made us lose if they hit us with it. Fourth is Dragon Trainer Lance. Right away, we crit a Body Slam to one-shot Water Onyx, and second is Dragonair, who was almost a one-shot, and hit Hyper Beam for pretty decent damage. I decided to use his Recharge team to set up our Reflect, and then finish him off. For the next Dragonair, I hit a Body Slam to take it to a Sliver and paralyze it, as it was just using Agility, and I figured we were safe, so I used Rest to heal up as she healed with a Hyper Potion. We took a bit of damage while we were asleep, but nothing too much, and I was able to finish it off with more health than if I didn't rest. Aerodactyl came out and hit a big Hyper Beam, so I Body Slammed it to paralyze it, and then rested to heal. He mostly just missed a ton of Supersonics after that. We did finally get confused and hit ourselves once, but then we broke out of it and finished him off with most of our health left. Last is Dragonite, and we crit a Body Slam to paralyze him and almost one-shot him, but he healed back up. We hit him again, he hit a Hyper Beam to take us to low health, then we hit one last Body Slam to finish him off. Man, this Reflect and Rest combo really saved us. I love that Gen 1 Reflect never wears off. It is crazy powerful. Finally, the Pokemon Champion. Right away against Pidgeot, we used Reflect. He did nothing by using Whirlwind. We Body Slammed. He wasted a turn setting up Sky Attack, and then we took him out. He did nothing the whole matchup. Next is Alakazam, but we one-shot him with Body Slam, and next is Rhydon. Now, I don't like how this went at all. Not only did he hit a 5-hit Fury attack at the start to do a bit of damage, but then he got us with a Leer and a Tail Whip once each before he fainted. Executor was just a one-shot with Drill Peck, but Water Onyx was next, and although he didn't hit any of his big moves, he used Leer, so our defense is down 3 stages now. Last is Charizard, and we body slammed for great damage, but he did hit a Fire Blast. I thought we'd faint, but we hung on with low health and got burned. We still did just enough damage to get the knockout on him, get a nice level up, and win the run. Hey, that was a really fun one despite having a limited moveset. It was cool getting so much use out of Reflect and Rest right at the end there, and overall, things went pretty fast. You guys should give this one a try sometime if you want to. It's nice to have an occasionally fast run. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next week on Saturday, like usual, with one you guys picked on the Patreon poll. Pokemon Gold with a team picked by a random number generator. I've already generated the team now. It's a much harder one than when I did the random number generator run in Pokemon Red. As always, I'm looking at your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time. Alright, so I said earlier in the episode that I logged into my Facebook for the first time in several years. I think the last time I logged in was like early to mid 2019. I think it was very shortly after I started uploading this style of Pokemon challenge. So I logged back into it the other night because I was talking to my YouTube manager and he's like, hey, you should start uploading some of your backlog onto Facebook's video stuff, onto Facebook Reels. You know, it's very little extra work. And it's another source of income once you get monetized there. And I thought, oh, you know what? That's not a bad idea. I don't use Facebook, and I've heard that Facebook has gotten worse and worse and worse as the years have gone on. It's all just AI slop and whatever now. And it is. I logged in and I clicked on Reels. I saw 20 Reels in a row. 18 of them were just AI animal videos. Oh man, I guess some people are really into those, or something. That or it's all just bots watching them, that wouldn't even surprise me. But I log into my old Mah-Dry-Bread account on there, and I notice like, wow, I have a lot of notifications, I wonder what it is. And I check. I had literally hundreds of direct messages that I had no idea that I had. Almost all of them are 2020, because 2020 is when I had the all-time peak on my channel, so I guess that makes sense. I still had ones from, 2023, 2024, even a little bit 2025. I don't think I had any in 2026, but like, oh man, and at some point, Facebook added some kind of feature where if you have like a business page, it considers my Mah-Dry-Bread account a business page. It has an auto reply set up. So like the last several people who DM'd me got what looks like a DM back from me that just says like a copy paste message of like, thank you for sending this message. Our team has gotten this and we'll get back to you shortly. Something like that, which I guess is just the default message for that, which I obviously never manually turned on. So I had to hunt through the settings to figure out how to turn that off because like, no, my team won't get back to you shortly. I don't have a team, and I wasn't there, and I didn't even know the DMs existed. So I just went through a big pile of those DMs the other night. I responded to a few of them, because a few of them was like, this from like 2020, 2019. A few of these people were like, hey, I was watching your Pokemon challenges. I just discovered you. Did you go to this school? I think we went to school together. And yes, a couple of people I went to school with found me through that when I blew up, so that was pretty funny. And, just nice stories. I responded to a few of those, but there's hundreds of these DMs. Most of them were just Pokemon challenge requests, which obviously I look at, and if the idea is good, then I'll write it down, but I can't respond to like 800 of those. That'd be insane. So that was interesting. I am through the vast majority of those DMs now. Because I'm trying to get that page back up and like running again. I'm getting Reels up there, which Reels didn't exist when I used to be on there. So I've just been dumping some of my old Pokemon challenges on there. There's not going to be anything exclusive over there, I don't think. Like maybe I'll do like the occasional posting a funny picture over there, or like, I don't know, talk back and forth with you guys over there. If you leave comments over there, by all means, leave comments over there. The engagement is good, and that also helps me get towards getting monetized on Facebook, so it's very much appreciated. But yeah, don't worry. If you don't use Facebook, you're not missing anything vital to the show by not being on Facebook. I'm not really a Facebook guy either. Anyway, $50 supporter shoutout tier, and we have a new name. It's funny. I have like 13 names on this list now, and I haven't double checked yet to see if like any of these people aren't in the tier anymore. I should probably do that soon and wipe out a few names from it, because I'm guessing not every one of these people are still in the $50 supporter shoutout tier, but like, the list isn't too long, and I kind of like leaving them on for a long while even after they get out of the tier, just as an extra thank you, you know? But the $50 supporter shoutout tier: Jacob Busby, Javid Kusaro, Grayson Fitz, Tara Louise, Alexandra Hedgeblog, Joel Mann, Dark Soul, Young Smoky VP, Cal Anderson, Crystal Sunrise, Gabriel Thornton, Hernandez Punchdick, and the new one, the -1. Thank you everybody so much for your continued support. I need to get editing this thing so bad, because I need to get this thing up as early as possible and make sure that I'm done all of my work tonight, so that tomorrow, which is a Saturday at the time that I'm doing this voice, what's today? Today is April 10th. On April 11th, I want to stream a whole lot of Wrestling Empire, because you guys have been asking me to bring that one back for ages, and I've been meaning to bring that back for ages, because everybody loves Newbie Nate, also known as Skater Nate. It is the greatest wrestling video game for people who have zero interest in pro wrestling. It is just a very funny, fun game. And if any of you out there are interested in it, and you like playing games on your phone, I mean, I play it on Steam, but if you like playing it on your phone, Wrestling Empire, it's free on phones. You can just go play it right now for free, and it's super fun. It's just a fun, goofy 3D fighting game. Anyway, I need to go get editing this thing, so thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.